Plus, it wasn't the idea that we're against these factions, and then like occasionally we're at war with the like the governments of some of these Middle Eastern countries. But like I think that in World War II, like we were at war with the German people.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there was like
absolutely.
we didn't, you know, like they had been killing our people, and it seemed like everybody was like, you know, fine with that, like, or at least that was the propaganda that was going on, and that was kind of like what was going on, like, you know, after 9/11 is like the Iraqi people hate the American people.
Yep.
So it's not like we're going in there to go fuck up. We're going in there to go fuck up
But
Iraqi people.
I think that was started during Desert Storm, and Saddam Hussein after
Well, we armed Al Qaeda just like we armed ISIS, and we armed the Kurds. So like,
Thanks
I
a
think
lot.
that-
Thanks a lot, CIA.
Yeah.
Well, but like
Whistleblower.
that's okay. You would like I think that if we're gonna learn any lessons, it's like, oh, maybe we should stop arming rebel groups in the area, so that way we don't have to go then fight them later. You know?
Well,
And
maybe
also,
we should
kind of
confiscate their weapons.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, Beto.
no. I mean, we gave them the weapons. We don't need to go take them away. But I mean, like, we definitely don't need to keep giving more people weapons. They have guns. That thing needs to solve itself. All right, we don't need to be there.
Was
doing
it?
that.
Where was it? Was it France?
After World War II, we gave a bunch of our equipment to a country, and I don't remember which country it was. It Russia?
We gave tanks and like anything that we had in Europe, we left to them.
But I forget which country got all that shit.
I'm not sure.
But like, and you're right, we need to stop arming other countries because they use that shit against us.
Like, I'm for Second Amendment. Like, you know, it's like, I'm for the Second Amendment enough that I'm like, we shouldn't. In my opinion, we shouldn't be sitting here trying to do these, like, trying to force Korea to not have nuclear weapons. Korea wants nuclear weapons because, like, in between human beings like you or I, a gun is the equalizer. In between nations, nuclear bombs are the equalizer. So, like, you know, it's like you can have guns and you can have an army, but if you want to actually like be armed,
Yeah.
then you need to have nuclear weapons. We don't go fuck with people who have nuclear weapons. That's just like
No, I mean,
our military industrial complex is not retarded. They won't do they.
yeah.
You know, you
absolutely.
want to start a nuclear war. That can get quite out of hand.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Well, and I think that was one of President Trump's like goals when he started, and he stepped into
when he made it his goal to step into North Korea, like, you know, that's not been accomplished by any other president. But the question is, have other presidents really had that much like effort put into what they're trying to accomplish with that?
Right. That was definitely, and I was impressed with that.
I was too.
you know, everybody talks down about President Trump, whatever. I'm like, but look at the milestones he's created just in the 3 years he's been in office. Do I agree with him? Not 100% of the time. It's kind of rough sometimes, you know. He makes some decisions, and I'm like, well, probably shouldn't have done that. But I'm just one voice, you know.
Right. And that leads me kind of to one last point I want to touch on is what's your opinion? Because it seems like for the longest time in the United States, most presidents have served in the military in some type of fashion. And then we got to a point where a lot of them, like, you know, like especially recent ones, none of them really did do much service.
no.
Because like George Washington, one of the big reasons why he was chosen to be the first president was not just because of his family's influence, but he was a stud in war.
Yep. He was a general.
Yeah, it's
And-
kind of weird. We have these career politicians, you know, like whereas like they literally have done politics your whole life. And,
Yeah.
Like, so what you don't know about other things, like how, and but we're supposed to trust all the things with you. I don't see like that doesn't make any sense like to me at all. Like why would you want them to do that? Like these people don't run businesses; they run campaigns. Like that's all they do. Is,
Yeah,
like,
you got a
they're
point.
expert convincers, and like that's I don't know about
So
people
like,
that.
you're basically talking about just politicians as a whole, or you're talking about like presidents who.
Well, I mean, you know, presidents, politicians, like that's like kind of the thing is like you have to kind of like work your way through politics, and so I think it requires a more inordinate amount of time
So-
of you doing that than it used to. Because I mean, like George Washington, for instance, you know, like he was the first president. He was a farmer, and then he like you know he was a general. He did a lot of different stuff. Like
Yep.
you know he had to run his own household. Like you know like he had done a lot of different things before he ever ended up being in charge. So he kind of like feel for how things in general work.
Well,
as a
yeah,
whole.
exactly. And so, like, going into that discussion, it's like, so you said that it seems like a lot of recent presidents weren't really didn't really serve in the military. But it's kind of like, so George Washington was a general.
Yeah.
Okay. But Abraham Lincoln was not. He was a lawyer.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a career politician.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that I feel about it is there was a lot of the presidents that served held a general rank. You had General Eisenhower as well.
Right.
You know, Teddy Roosevelt. You know, he served as well. I don't
Rough Riders.
I don't exactly what he did or anything like that. But some of our best presidents weren't people who served.
Yeah.
I mean, FDR was. I mean, he had polio, but probably one of the best presidents in history.
That's debatable, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he was for the time period that he was president and what he had to deal with. I think he handled it kind of very well. You know, I mean that's a lot to take in. I mean, he's president through most of World War II. So I mean, he was
president too many times.
Well, yeah, he's also the reason why they only get 2 terms.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like.
He was the Nancy Pelosi of that time.
Oh, I wouldn't necessarily go that far.
Well, she's not president, so you can't go that far.
Well, and then you had who was the last president that served? Was it George W?
Probably. No, I mean he didn't serve. He was
He was
supposed to fight in Vietnam, but I don't think he ever. He didn't actually go.
He didn't go.
So how far back does that go?
Well, I mean, we all know JFK. I mean, he was a World War II hero, as the story goes, which I believe. Well, didn't Carter serve, or did he not serve?
I couldn't tell you.
Reagan, did he not serve? Was he just a movie star?
I couldn't tell you.
Honestly, yeah. But like, I think, but honestly,
We're idiots.